Okay, so turns out I'm all alone trying to catch up with Mel and Kev. Let's see if we can do this. So update, your boy caught up to Mel. Alright, what is good, my beautiful broken people? It's your boy Bentpinkeez, and welcome to today's video. It's gonna be a little bit of a different kind of video. We're just gonna do some stretching while I talk to you about my experience with the Spartan race. As you can see, I have my medal here, my shirt there, so tell you all about my experience and how I almost died. You ready for that? Be ready. It's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna just leave this one right here. Okay, so go ahead and grab your mat, get ready to stretch, and I'm going to put some clips of the race over here, so you can see kind of what I went through, but I'll explain as we get into some stretching. So I'm going to start in this butterfly formation. Yeah, so anyways, while I sit here, start off, we did the Spartan race in Hawaii. Hawaii is super nice, right? As you can tell by the, wearing the jersey that I wore for the whole race. So that, in honor of the race. But it was in Hawaii. It was in Hawaii, where Jurassic Park was filmed, so Kualoa Ranch. And we decided to do the 21K version of this, 21 kilometers, so 13 miles. But when you get there, they go, it's 13 Spartan miles, all right? And that just means they didn't really measure it, and it could be, the mile could be longer or shorter. And my boy Kevin actually measured on his watch, and it was closer to 15 miles total. So they lied, all right? And we were going through some treacherous terrain, and it was straight up like, jungle, swamp water, grass, dirt, steep elevation, and then like steep going down, and then like super muddy, slippery areas, and like straight deep in the jungle stuff. All right, and I'm gonna extend my right leg out, bring that left foot inwards, and then I'm gonna reach to my right side, kind of lean over it, grab. So yeah, the terrain was terrible. So by like the end, my feet were throbbing. How about I start? You know what? We'll get to the point where I'll explain everything, okay, and how I died. So, I just laid you the groundwork of what the terrain was like, how long it was. It was pretty sunny. The obstacles were the easiest part, right? So, a lot of climbing. If you can hold your own body weight around, or like, do some monkey bars and stuff like that, right? You're gonna be just fine. Just towards the end, my forearms gave out and I couldn't hang on to anything anymore. But was able to complete most of the obstacles. So there's about 30 there are 30 obstacles, and our heat started at 11:15. So I had one of my homies, his heat was 11 a.m. So 15 minutes before ours. Me and my girl were at mile 4. We were in the back, like dead last. Swear we were dead last. Mile 4, she had to be carted to the med tent because just, she was like getting dehydrated, and it was not looking good. So got her to get carted back, but she was staying strong. She did the best she could. Brutal for her, but got her back safe. And then we're gonna switch sides here. So at mile 4, we were dead last, and my friends like ran ahead, way ahead. And our team was a group of 4, so just me and my girl, and then 2 of my other friends, and they went ahead without us. So at mile 4, she got carted back, and then at that point I decided I was just gonna try and run and catch up to my friends and see if I can catch up to them. So I caught up to them at mile 7, so it took about 3 miles for me to catch up to them. But in doing so, I feel like I used up like all my energy to catch up with them. And I passed like a bunch of people. I passed the 11 o'clock heat along the way. So once I reached my friends, we were able to like, do the rest of the course together. It was at that point my feet were like throbbing, my quads were dying, my left hamstring and my left calf was like right on the verge of cramping, and it was no joke. Like at that point, like mile 8, 9, 10, I was like hating life and wanted this to be over, because they take you. The trail goes like towards the finish line, but then they give you a big middle finger and then make you go back around to another obstacle, and you're just like, seriously, dude, why? All right, and then we're gonna go into this runner's lunge. So into this runner's lunge right here. So we were in the thick of things up until mile 10. Okay, so mile 10, one of my other friends had to get her hip and knee were giving out, so she had to get carted back to the med tent, or like the finish line area where we all started. So it was just me and my homie left, and he decided that at mile 10, after one of my friends got carted back, that he was going to just finish the race as fast as he can, and he had plenty of energy left. All right, so homeboy Kevin had plenty of energy left. You've seen him in the videos before, and so at mile 11, around mile 11, there's like a trail, like a patch of grassy trail, and it's just like flat area. There's a bunch of cows in that area, like a herd of cows around the area, but like the trail for running through was like pretty free, and like he's maybe 100 yards ahead of me. All right, so I see him run through, and this guy literally like records this thing, so I'll put it on the screen. Like he records himself running through, and then as I see him run through, like the cows like converge, and like, how like parting the Red Sea? No, this was like the Red Sea was coming together, so all of them cows like come together and like block the road or block the trail. So we're just going through this hamstring stretch here. So they block the road, and once I get up to there, the cows are straight over just blocking my path, and I was like, well, what the hell do I do? This dude, right, like a volunteer, one of the workers, he's in this golf cart and comes up to me and he's like, I was like, yo, what do I do?
Yay!
He's like, just try go around the cows.
Almost done.
And then hit like the side road, and then come back in to the trail, and then just continue along your path. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that. So I start walking or like jogging towards the side of the road. I don't even get close to the side of the road. I think like I'm like somewhere near it, but as soon as I start going that way, this cow like starts charging at me. Okay, cow, not a bull. All right, I know. You would think they're not as aggressive, but dude, this cow starts charging at me. Like it does that. It like breathes really hard, like, and then like kind of shakes his head and like makes that noise, like, right, kind of like a horse. And it lowers his head and starts charging at me. All right, and I'm just like, yo, what the hell? So I start booking it, like I'm running, straight sprinting, and it's maybe like 50 to 75 yards ahead is like a little wooden ramp and like a small fence to get to the next area where the next obstacle is. And I start running in that direction. And as I start running, this other cow, I like hear it start to like rev up its engine and like charge at me as well. And I'm just like, all right, great. I'm just like, yo, my life is gonna be over. This cow is getting super close to me, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like thinking about like all those like crazy videos I've seen, or like jackass videos where, you know, they get flipped up in the air and they like spin around and then like fall down. And then in my brain, I'm like, that's gonna happen to me. I'm gonna land, and then I'm gonna get trampled or stomped all over, and I'm gonna die. All right. So that's going through my mind. And this cow straight up comes, clips my leg. Right. I'll show you the photo right here. This is what it left me with. I have no idea what it hit me with. Either its head, its leg, or whatever. But it hit me right here, and I was wearing like, you know, these like tights. So maybe if I wasn't wearing that, it might have broken through skin even deeper or something like that. So that happened. All right, we'll go ahead and switch. And then after it hits my leg and like I don't go flying in the air, I'm like, okay, just keep running. Like, just continue to run and sprint. I guarantee you I was going faster than Usain Bolt ever did. I was breaking Olympic records, guaranteed. Like, at that point, my feet, like I told you, my feet were hurting. My legs were cramping. My left ankle was like hurting. Like, everything was dying, and like I'm tired, right? And like at that moment, I was just like straight adrenaline. Booked it all the way to I ran, like outran the cow, got close to the ramp, and then jumped over. I got over the ramp, and these people on the other side were like, "Yo, you're good. Like, they're not chasing you anymore." And I'm just like, "Okay, cool." And then they were like, people were asking like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I'm just like pause for a second and like I check myself, walk it off. I'm like, okay, I think I'm pretty good. I can move and stuff. So, but I wasn't in any more pain, so adrenaline was fully kicked in. Felt no pain, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna use this boost of adrenaline to help me finish this race, which I did. So hence, the medals and the shirt. But I kid you not, I turn around after I'm feeling kind of safe and safe and stuff, and I'm like really close to the next obstacle. I turn around, and the dude in the golf cart is like driving one of the other like runners across, and I'm just like, yo, in my head I was like, really? You couldn't have just done that for me? But I was just like too far ahead. I was like, I'm not gonna turn around and be like, yo, what the hell? So lucky for that lady, going to this hamstring. So yeah, no, that was my near-death experience. But even before that, we were in. So I guess you can kind of say like I was face to face with like mad cow disease or something like that. Terrible joke, I know. But yeah, no, the terrain was terrible. Like if I could just do just the obstacles, that would be great. And I've done one other Spartan race before, and it was like a 5K, the stadium one, and that was like a cakewalk, like super easy compared to this one. I've never ever ran or done anything like 13 miles plus in my life. So that was like the most I've ever gone, like most distance I've ever done something. So that was horrible. The terrain was horrible, just carrying sandbags up steep ass hills and going down steep ass hills. The freaking water part, swamp water, water was going up to my hip and belly button area. That's how deep we were getting, and that water was gross, dude. We were straight up looked like chocolate milk when I was going through that stuff. And yeah, it not that part was not fun. And then having like blisters on my feet because you're trying to run, wet socks, and all that. And then you got muddy, super muddy areas like deep in jungle, and they give you like a small ass rope to hold, and the rope is like super muddy too, so you're like kind of like slipping on the rope too unless you have like a firm grip. So, but another crazy part was like, so let's move on. Okay, we're gonna go into this yogi squat pose right here, so I can hang out and chill and talk to y'all. So freaking, maybe at one point it was like mile 8 or 9. We just finished going to the water station, and maybe like 100 yards into or after the water station, like it's like we're going up like this narrow muddy path, like straight hiking, right? Narrow muddy path. It was like, the mountain cliff is like on our left side, and then like it's just a bunch of trees, and then like a steep fall off. So like if you fall, you're like doomed. Okay, but there's like a bunch of like small trees that you can hang on to like kind of move around. And like 100 yards away from that water station, like this dude straight up like collapsed, injured himself, and just like a fetal position, clutching his leg like on the floor. And we're just like, everyone's like paused. We're like, what the hell's going on? They're like, everyone's like trying to call medic. This medic comes through. This is probably one of the funniest parts though, but pretty bad. Like, I hope that dude's okay. Like, we called the medic, and as the medic's coming down from the opposite side, people are still trying to finish the race. So we're like going like this small ass path, and then like we're going around the injured guy. So we're grabbing like on these small trees to hold on to so that we can go around him. And like as I go by him, he's like in major pain. And as we get up the path, the medic guy is coming down, and like he says like the funniest thing, like like he's trying to lighten the mood. I feel it, but he's coming down. He's like, yo, who's with this guy? Who's like in his group or in his party? And like these people are like, yo, it's us. And then he goes like, so how much do you love this guy? And I was just like, wow, that's pretty funny. But they needed him. They were like, he was doing it so that like, he needs some help so that they can help the guy that's like injured. So that was pretty funny. But let's go to the obstacles. So I'm gonna go into right here. We're gonna sit on my heels here. I'm gonna lean back. The freaking obstacles, monkey bars, easy. Climbing over walls, easy. As long as you're like can jump or normal height, and then like can like hold yourself or bring yourself over, do some pull-ups basically. Those were easy. Climbing up ropes, easy. Because I definitely just used my upper body at that point. I don't care about the form. It was hard. Like the only hard part was like there was like this T or Z wall, and like you're just like ninja warrioring yourself across, like grabbing on these like small wooden blocks like to get over, and it's like just one block space like 2 feet apart from each other, and then like it's the same block that's on your feet, and you're just trying to like it's maybe like a 2-inch thick block, and I'm like trying to walk across the wall, but my left foot is like about to cramp if I like put any more pressure down, so I'm like clutching with my arms to like move my body across. So the rest of the obstacles, like literally all the obstacles that I was really good at, or like most of the obstacles period, if you have upper body strength, you can pretty much do it all. But yeah, if I'm never ever doing something like this ever again. It's just way too much, way too long. Would rather just do obstacles and like be done with it. And then like 30 burpees if you screw up. Didn't really do that much. Yeah. So overall, my experience was like pretty shitty. Like I almost died, and I felt like dying more than halfway through. Oh, let me tell you, freaking every person that was doing that freaking race was like at a certain point. So we're gonna go into pigeon. Okay. So every person that was in that, like, not every person, but like there were people who are doing like the ultra version where they like do double the beast, so like full marathon. And those guys, my God, every time they like ran by or whatever, they said like, "You're almost there, you're almost there," and we're straight up on like mile like 3 or like 7. I'm just like, yo, we're not almost there. That's like a long ass way. And like they said it so much at the like towards the end when I'm like in pain and like acne and I'm like, yo, this sucks. They say almost there, and like I was like, dude, I guarantee you, if one more person says you're almost there, I'm gonna slap somebody. Like, it was getting kind of irritating to hear that. So, but yeah, it's just grueling experience that I can say I've done it, but never again. I don't want to like. I don't want to be like, yo, never ever do this, or like be like one of those downers where you're just like, oh, he's like one of those people who had a bad experience, but like I almost died from a cow. My feet were hurting. Like if you were in my position, like your feet were hurting, and like they were just like zigzagging you back, snaking your way back and forth, like kind of teasing you, finishing but not, and like you gotta be in like deep ass muddy dirt water, and your shoes are wet, and it's hot, and you're tired, and you almost died. You'd probably be saying the same thing. Like, I can't tell you it was like a fun experience. Like literally the only fun part was like doing good on some obstacles, but nobody was there to see it because, you know, you by yourself because you're trying to catch up to everyone. So, yeah, overall, I would say my experience was like thumbs down. But you know, I guess I can commend people for doing it, or like, and like the people who are doing it twice for like full marathon, like y'all are psychotic. Like, what is in your brain that goes, oh, I want to do this twice? Like it took me like, was it 5.5, 6.5 hours to finish? I don't remember. One of those numbers are right. Still, it's a long day, right? And like if you're doing that twice, that's like 10, 11, 12 hours of your day straight up just doing that whole course. Why? Like, I actually want to know, like, what's in your brain that goes, oh, I want to do this, but twice, right? And I thought, like, at the beginning, I was like, yo, at least if I'm, like, I'm dying on Hawaii, and it's, like, super nice, but, like, you're going through, like, swamp water, jungle and shit, and, like, you don't really see much. Like, there's, like, a couple spots where you're, like, where you see, like, nice view, like, really nice views, but you're in too much pain to care. So, yeah, that's my experience. So, if you've done it, right, go ahead and let me know how you did. But for those of you who want to know what happened to me, that's what happened. And if my feelings on it, like, puts a dampening on you doing it, I'm sorry, but that was just, like, my boy Kevin, like, he's down to do another one. Like, he had a good experience. I guess. But me, nah. It's a one and done thing. Never, ever again. All right. Like, all right. Well, obviously we're going into front splits, so I'm trying to bang, get open up here. Good. So, yeah. So this is like my recovery process. Post race. Oh, and the recovery process post race, dude. We finished. We did the race on Saturday, and I had to fly home Sunday, right? And when I was flying home, my foot and my ankle swelled up, and I was like from Saturday to basically Saturday after the race till Wednesday night or Thursday, I was straight limping. Like, it was hard to walk. It was, and my quads were like not major sore, but like they were just sore up until like Thursday. Like I could feel it. So it definitely takes a while to recover. And my energy levels were like super low until like Saturday, Sunday. So a whole week. You definitely take a whole week to recover. Don't try to do anything crazy or like anything like, crazy like right after. I definitely spent like that whole week stretching like this, right? Because stretching helps you recover a lot faster, helps undo some tightness that you have definitely put onto your body. Upper body was totally, was mostly fine, but my traps were sore a bit because you're just carrying a bunch of stuff, so that's to be expected. Forearms slightly sore. It kind of feels like you just finished like bouldering, if you ever bouldered before, another form of rock climbing. So switching sides. Get to this front split action. So definitely highly recommend stretching post recovery, getting your nutrients in. If you can, probably an ice bath post race would have been nice, but that all I did was like down some rum and try to numb the pain through that. Like, it's probably not a highly recommended thing to do, but I was just like, yo, I'm on Hawaii, it's my last day here, just make sure I got some food in my stomach, and then took I'd say like a few shots of rum, and then like numb the pain and like went to sleep. So that was probably, I wouldn't say that's the most optimal, but that's what I did. Numb the pain. But yeah. But before that, like my trip to Hawaii was fantastic. Like, we were hanging out at the beach, we were taking photos, we were eating good, living the good life, and then I was living the horrible life. Like straight up 180, one day apart. So there was that. Probably should have just stayed on the island for like another week to just relax in the nice Hawaiian islands. So yeah. Okay. And now I'm gonna sit cross-legged here, back straight, and then I'm gonna just twist a bit. See that? Just some twist action. Keep your back straight, opening up through the spine. Nothing too crazy. I just want to like do some like chill stretching. Other side. Just some chill stretching and like talk about what the hell happened to me. So hopefully y'all enjoyed the clips that I was playing. Here, and like the photos from the race. Like the people doing the photography, I only posted up at a few spots. They weren't at every obstacle, but I did find out that like at obstacles they have volunteers at the obstacles, and you can actually ask the volunteers to take videos of you doing the obstacle. So I mean, if they're nice enough, right? So, this dude was super nice and recorded stuff for us. So that was super chill. What else do I want to do? Oh, right. I get in the chest. So, interlock them fingers behind the back. Open it up. There we go. So, definitely gotta work this area. So, yeah. Take my experience with the big grain of salt, but if you're not big into like cardio or killing yourself, then I don't recommend doing this. But if you're like big into cardio and killing yourself, I would say go ahead and try and, you know, experience it for yourself. Always experience things for yourself first before, you know, you take, you know, you decide like if you like it or not, because who knows, you may be one of those people who enjoy dying. All right, so definitely that's what happened to me. All right, so that is my story and I'm sticking to it. You see the swag, you see the medal, right? And we just got some nice stretching going, some recovery going. Hopefully you like this video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification bell for new videos that pop up. And don't forget to visit Bentpinkeez.fit and your boy Bentpinkeez.